Hi students, this is the fourth video of chapter 1 Gravitation, Science 1, Maharashtra State Board. So in this video we are basically study about the free fall and the escape velocity. Before starting the next topic, just keep in mind the students Newton's first equation of motion, V is equal to U plus AT. V means final velocity, U means initial velocity, A means acceleration and T means time. Newton's second equation of motion is S is equal to ut plus half at square. And the Newton's third equation of motion is V square is equal to U square plus 2as. These three equation of motion is very useful for solving the examples. So students, the next topic is free fall. Take a small stone, hold in your hand, which force acting on the stone. Now release the stone, and what do you observe? What are the forces acting on the stone after you release it? We know that the force of gravity due to the earth acts on each and every object. We have studied earlier. We know that the force of gravity due to the earth acts on each and every object. When we are holding the stone in your hand, the stone was experience this force. When we are holding the stone in our hand, the stone was experience this force. But it was balanced by the force that we are applying on it in the opposite direction. As a result, the stone remains at rest. Means stone does not change his place. Once we release the stone from our hands, the only force that acts on it is the gravitational force. And if we release the stone, the only force acts on the stone, that is the gravitational force of the earth, and the stone falls down under its influence. Whenever an object moves under the influence of the force of gravity alone, it is said to be a falling freely. Thus the released stone is in a free fall. If we release this stone, then it is a free fall. In free fall, the initial velocity of the object is 0 and goes on increasing due to the acceleration due to gravity of the earth. During free fall, the frictional force due to the air opposes the motion of the object, and a buoyant force also acts on the object. Thus, free fall is possible only in vacuum. Vacuum means a space that is completely empty or all substance including air or other gases. For a freely falling object, the velocity on reaching the earth and the time taken for it can be calculated by using Newton's equations of motion. So, we will discuss in the starting of this video Newton's equations of motion. For free fall, the initial velocity u is equal to 0 and the acceleration a is equal to g. Thus, we can write the equation as. So, this is the three equations of motion. For calculating the motion of an object thrown upwards, acceleration is negative. If we throw object in the upward, the acceleration is negative. That is in a direction opposite to the velocity, and it is taken to be minus g. The magnitude of g is the same, but the velocity of the object decreases because of the negative acceleration. The moon and the artificial satellites are moving only under the influence of the gravitational field of the earth. Thus, they are in free fall. So, hope everyone understood the concept free fall. Next one is solve examples. Example first. An iron ball of mass 3 kg is released from a height of 125 meter. So, there is one iron ball of mass 3 kg and it is released from the height of 125 meter and falls freely to the ground. Assuming that the value of g is 10 meter per second square, calculate first one, time taken by the ball to reach the ground. So first we calculate time taken by the ball to reach the ground. Second one is velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. Second one we have to calculate velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. And the third one is the height of the ball at the half time it takes to reach the ground. Okay, so the solution of this example is, the given is mass of the ball is 3 kg. Distance traveled by the ball, that is s, is equal to 125 meter. Initial velocity of the ball, that is u, is equal to 0, and acceleration a is equal to g is equal to 10 meter per second square. So first we are using Newton's second law of equation. First we have to find out time taken by the ball to reach the ground. So what is the Newton's second equation of motion? S is equal to ut plus half at square. Therefore, what is the value of S? 125. What is the value of u? 0 t plus half into, what is the value of a? 10 into t square. So 2 ones are 2, 2 5s are 10. So 125, 0 into t means 0. Then 5t square. Therefore t square comes on the left hand side, so it is 125 divided by 5. So t square is equal to 25, and 25 is the square root of 5, so t is equal to 5 seconds. So the ball takes 5 seconds to reach the ground. So in this way, first we calculate the time taken by the ball to reach the ground, and it will take 5 seconds. Second one we have to calculate velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. So according to Newton's first equation of motion, final velocity v is equal to u plus at. U is 0 plus a is 10, t is 5. So 50 meter per second. Therefore the velocity of a ball on reaching the ground is 50 meter per second. Third, we have to calculate the height of the ball at half the time it takes to reach the ground. So half time means t is equal to 5 divided by 2, that is 2.5 seconds. So ball's height at this time is equal to s. So according to the Newton's second equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Here there is one correction, ut plus half at square. So u is 0, t as it is, plus half into a into 2.5 square. So 2 ones are 2, 2 5s are 10. What is remaining? 5 into the square of 2.5 is 6.25. And if we multiply 5 into 6.25, answer is 31.25 meter. Thus the height of the ball at half time, the height of the first 125 and this half time minus 31.25, thus the height of the ball at half time is 93.75 meter. Example second is, a tennis ball is thrown up and reaches a height of 4.05 meter. Before coming down, what was its initial velocity? How much total time will take to come down? Assume g is equal to 10 meter per second square. So there is one tennis ball is thrown up and reaches at a height of 4.05. Before coming down, what was its initial velocity and how much total time will it take to come down? So in this second example, the given is, for the upward motion of the ball, the final velocity of the ball is 0. Distance traveled by the ball is equal to 4.05 meter. And in the we have studied in the free fall, the acceleration in the upward, the acceleration is negative. Why? Because the object is thrown upwards. Therefore distance traveled by the ball 4.05, acceleration a is equal to minus g, that is minus 10 meter per second square. So using Newton's third equation of motion, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. V is 0, u square as it is, 2 into minus 10 into 4.05. 0 is equal to u square minus 20 into 4.05. So this u square comes on the left hand side, u square 20 into 4.05. Therefore u square, if we multiply 20 into 4.05, answer is 81. Therefore u is equal to square root of 81, and answer is u is equal to 9 meter per second. Therefore the initial velocity of the ball is 9 meter per second. Now let us consider the downward motion of the ball. Suppose the ball takes t seconds to come down, and now the initial velocity of the ball is 0, that is u is equal to 0. Distance traveled by the ball on reaching the ground, that is 4.05 meter. As the velocity and the acceleration are in the same direction, so a is equal to g is equal to 10 meter per second. According to the Newton's second equation of motion, S is equal to ut plus half at square. S is 4.05, u 0, t, here one correction, t as it is, plus half into 10 into t square. So 2 ones are 2, 2 5s are 10. So 4.05 and here 5t square. Therefore t square is equal to 4.05 divided by 5. So t square is equal to 0.81. And what is the square root of 0.81? That is 0.9 second. So the ball will take 0.9 second to reach the ground and it will take the same time to go up. Thus the total time taken 2 into 0.9, that is 1.8 second. Next topic is gravitational potential energy. We have studied potential energy in the last standard. The energy stored in an object because of its position or state is called as a potential energy. The energy is relative and increase we go to greater heights from the surface of the earth. The energy is relative and increase as we go greater heights of the earth. We had assumed that the potential energy of an object mass m at height h from the ground is mgh. M is mass, g is acceleration due to gravity and h is the height on the ground. It is 0. When h is small as compared to radius of the earth, we can assume that g to be constant and can be used above formula. So this is the formula potential energy mgh. But for the large values of h, if the h is greater than r, the values of g decreases with increase in h. For an object at infinite distance from the earth, the value of g is 0 and the earth gravitational force does not act on the object. So it is more appropriate to assume the value of the potential energy to be 0 there. Thus for smaller distances, that is heights, the potential energy is less than 0, that is it is negative. When an object is at height h from the surface of the earth, its potential energy is minus g m capital M small m divided by r plus h. G is universal gravitational constant, m is the mass of the earth, this m is the mass of the object, r means radius of the earth and h means height. So this is the gravitational potential energy. Next and the last topic of this first chapter, escape velocity. So what is meant by escape velocity? Escape velocity means the minimum velocity with which a body should be thrown vertically upwards from the surface of the earth so that it escapes from the earth gravitational field is called as a escape velocity. Escape means to get free. The minimum velocity with which body should thrown vertically upwards from the surface of the earth so that it escape. Escape means it get free from the earth gravitational field is called as a escape velocity. Now for an object of mass m, the surface of the earth, kinetic energy is half mv square. At infinite distance from the earth, kinetic energy is 0. On the surface of the earth, potential energy is minus gmm upon r. And at the infinite distance from the earth, potential energy is minus gmm upon infinity is equal to 0. Therefore, total energy is equal to E1 is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Kinetic energy half mv square. This ESC means escape velocity minus gmm upon r. Total energy at an infinite distance from the earth E2 is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy 0 plus 0 0. Therefore, from the principle of conservation of energy, E1 is equal to E2. So E1 is half mv square minus gmm upon r is equal to 0. This one is E1 and this one is E2. So this m and this small m gets cancelled. What is remaining? V square ESC means escape velocity is equal to 2 gm upon r. If we taking the square root, so it is under root 2 gm upon r, and which is equal to 2 into gr. If we put the values of the g means acceleration due to gravity, 2 into 9.8 into 6.4 into 10 raised to 6, answer is 11.2 km per second. The spacecraft means a vehicle that travels in space. which are sent to the moon or other planets have to have initial velocity larger than the escape velocity, so they can overcome Earth gravitational attraction and can travel into these objects. So next one is small example. Calculate the escape velocity on the surface of the moon. Gives the mass and radius of the moon to be 7.34 into 10 raised to 22 kg and 1.74 into 10 raised to 6 meter respectively. Given g is gravitational constant, m mass of the moon, this one is the radius of the moon. The formula of escape velocity is under root 2 gm upon r, and if we put the values of gm and r, we get the answer 2.37 km per second. Therefore, the escape velocity on the moon is 2.37 km per second. So in this way, the first lesson of the science one is completed. So in this lesson, we are studied about the gravitation. Then next we are studied about the circular motion and the centripetal force. Then we are studied about the Kepler's 3 laws. Kepler first law, Kepler second law, and Kepler third law. Then we are studied about the Newton's universal law of gravitation, then universal circular motion and the magnitude of centripetal force. Then we are studied about the Earth gravitational force, then acceleration due to gravity, the variation in value of g, changes along the surface of the Earth, changes with height and changes with the depth. And next we are studied about the mass and weight. Then we are studied about the free fall, gravitational potential energy and the escape velocity. Hope students, all of you understand this lesson. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. You just try to solve the exercise question number 1, question number 2 up to the question number 4. And question number 5, solve the following examples. I will post the photograph of this solution on the WhatsApp group. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.